Our guys have continued to work hard. I think it's several weeks in a row that I feel like we've improved at practice. Lots of competition. Still good on good is giving us an opportunity to improve. I see guys that have been on the scout team all year that have worked really hard, and you can see it. We've done a lot of periods in the last couple of weeks with our younger guys at the end of practice, and I think you can see the improvement and the development there. So, again, we've talked about Kentucky, very well coached, really good football team, tough, got experience. So we've got to really play well.
Hi. Jeremy, what's the timetable on Trey kind of making his decision? And is he officially on like another 6-month plan like he was in the off season?
We hadn't even talked about that. Initially just get the issue under control, and I think our doctors have done a really good job. He spent a couple of nights in the hospital. He's been out. I mean, he's out there working out today, so we're not concerned about that right now.
Just wondering, with Todd Kelly Jr., obviously he had a featured role a couple of years ago before his injuries. How did he kind of handle it earlier this season when he was kind of working his way back, having to adjust not playing at all or playing just a little bit before these last couple of weeks?
Well, I think, you go all the way back. I knew Todd when he was in high school, so we recruited him some. And, I was aware of his injuries, and really there was kind of wait and see. He had a significant injury, and he worked really hard to give himself a chance to come back. It was late in the summer before he was actually kind of running around and participating a little bit, and then as long as he had been off, it takes a while to get your body back in shape. And Todd will be the first to tell you he's probably not the same player that he was 2 or 3 years ago because of his leg. But it's kind of a testament to his character about working hard to get back, to give himself an opportunity. He's a smart guy that's got toughness, and we're glad that he has got himself able to play.
Coach, could you talk about Domwood Anderson and just where kind of he's progressed this year? Seems like he's getting a bigger and bigger role as he's gotten healthy.
Dom's kind of like a lot of the guys that didn't get to participate in spring. It's a big deal when you're not in spring ball. Because the coaches, we get 2 hours during the summer, but it's not the same as being on the field with you every day. So, there's lots to learn in fall camp, and he's continued to improve. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of an injury there several weeks ago, and he missed a couple of weeks, but he's improving as a blocker. He's always had really good skills as a wide receiver. But with all that, there's a learning curve, and I think the longer he's here, the more knowledge he'll get, the more confidence he'll get, and he'll probably be able to be more of a weapon for us.
Jeremy, how has Micah moved in practice this week? I know he's been out there the last couple of days, and what are kind of your expectation for his availability on Saturday?
Yeah, I think Micah has he's practiced this week. He's not taking every rep, but he has practiced, so I think with him would just be a game time decision.
Jeremy, do you have any theories or thoughts on maybe why you guys haven't played as well at home as you have in some of your road games, particularly Auburn, South Carolina? Is there any reason for why that's not been, you guys haven't been able to, I guess, translate that over there?
Well, first game we played was ETSU. We played pretty good. The next game we played UTEP. We had a bunch of penalties. Had some turnovers, I think. Next game we played Florida. We had 6 turnovers. Then we played Alabama. They probably had as much to do with that as us. Then we played Charlotte, and we didn't execute very well offensively. They had a lot to do with that. Defensively we played okay. So I don't know that there's an answer. That's the best answer I could give you.
Jeremy, since you got here, what kind of growth have you seen in Josh Palmer over the past several months, and just how has he kind of developed throughout the year?
Josh is a guy that I don't think he's played a lot of football. So there's lots to learn every day. You know, he has ability. You know, he runs pretty well. He's got good size. So, you know, I think his best football is in front of him, as long as he continues to work hard and compete. So, you know, I think he'll continue to improve.
Some of the other receivers have mentioned that you guys are maybe harder on him almost in some ways because of the talent, you know, that you see in him. I guess what kinds of things does he still need to work on, you know, that you mentioned his best football still ahead of him?
Well, I think as a wide receiver, you know, probably one of the most important things is you need to be hard to guard, whether it's with speed or it's your body type or maybe you're instinctive in running routes. You got to have great hands. So, you know, he's learning to play the position. He probably the instincts, the understanding of what the other team's trying to do to you, and that'll come with the more he plays.
Drew, when you talk about developing young guys, when you have guys on the roster that are good enough to come to Tennessee and have played a ton in high school and are not playing early in their career, philosophically, how do you sort of keep them invested and keep them sort of focused when they don't have that sort of carrot on Saturdays if they're going to be playing? What's your philosophy on that?
Well, if we recruited a guy and whether he's playing on Saturday and he's not working hard to improve, then we've probably recruited the wrong guy. You know, I've seen based off maturity sometimes, you know, maybe guys don't play for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes you have a really good football team and maybe they're not ready yet. You know, if you recruited them, you would think that there's a reason you did, whether it's there's lots of things, the way they play, the intangibles. But sometimes when you get away from home and things don't go your way, you know, guys need to be motivated. But most of the time, you know, the guys who end up being really good players that don't play early, they create the right habits on the scout team. You know, I can give you a perfect example. You know, number 92 that plays at Alabama, he's probably the hardest defensive lineman to block in the country right now. And he was that way on the scout team as a freshman. So, you know, everybody has an opportunity to do what they want with it, and it's a choice every day. So we got guys that on our team right now I think are making good choices and are trying to improve on the scout team.
You had said Trayvon Flowers game time decision Monday. Is that still apply, or has that been updated at all?
Yeah, we'll just wait and see.
Jeremy, usually kind of offensive linemen are some of the smartest guys and hardest working guys on the team, and they're unselfish guys. But that group right now obviously probably isn't playing the way that it wants to play. How are those guys handling that? Is there kind of some leadership within that group? Are they still kind of coming to work every day and trying to fix things?
You know, I think lots of times, you know, if you have confidence in what you're doing, you know, you're never hesitant about doing something. So when looks change or whatever, you have the confidence to make the right calls or to adjust on the move. And, you know, some of that comes with playing with the same guys beside you. You know, we went a stretch there where we played a couple of weeks where we had kind of the same guys, you know, but I think the longer the season goes, these guys are young. I mean, we got a lot of young guys, so I'm sure they're going to develop that as they go.
As a follow-up to that, just how has the offensive line as a unit kind of responded this week to not playing as well on Saturday? You kind of challenged them after the game. Obviously, Richmond was pulled. How has that group responded through 3 practices so far?
Well, I think we've practiced the right way. You know, we practiced the right way last week too, but it didn't show up on the game. So, you know, lots of times when things don't go your way, you kind of got to regroup and you got to respond, and you have to do it sometimes during the game. You have to do it after the game.